that our people haven't been told, because we've been conditioned through time, through physical punishment, i.e. slavery. The truth has been beaten out of us. Now, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you even want to acknowledge it, you are a Hebrew Israelite in the Bible, according to your father's lineage. Now, if your father, just because you look like a so-called Negro, if your father was actually a Guatemalan or Panamanian, you'd be of the tribe of Zebulon. So our whole point is to come out here and tell our people who they are. Okay? To know that you are the chosen nation of who the world calls God. It's the only people on the planet that is being dealt with by the Most High. And the reason our people are in such disarray and distraught, why our children are vile, are degenerate, why our parents, we came from shitty homes, why we're addicted to drugs, is because we stopped following the law, statutes, and commandments. Therefore, we got punished by the judgments and the curses. One of those curses was that we would come serve a nation of people whose language we didn't understand, and we'd be brought in via cargo slave ships. Now, this only happened to one particular group of people on the face of this planet. No one else can claim this atrocity as a historical heritage. Okay? Now, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that happened to our people for a number of reasons. One, we broke the law. So we got to own up and take the punishment. That's why we're here now catching hell. That's why the so-called black man is only worth 5/8 of a human being. You know, that's why that signifies who we are according to the prophecies. You see, because when you get to the bottom of it, it's all about prophecies and the fulfillment of prophecies. Okay, now Christ never looked like this. Not a day in the scriptures, not a day in life did he ever look like this. There's a real man, an actual man that used to model the image of it, because they were in rulership, so they whitewashed, called iconoclasm. Icon meaning image, iconoclasm. Okay? When you read the scriptures, we got a number of them listed there, proving the color of who the world calls Christ. Okay? So we don't know Christ was a Jew. So the real Jews are the so-called Negroes here in America. Okay? And then that's part of the southern kingdom. You got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So you got the so-called Negroes, the West Indians, and the Haitians. When you get into the prophecies, and then you can see it spiritually how they are, because the Haitians, which were the Levitical priests, it tells you that they would turn to become an instrument of cruelty. What do they practice now? Voodoo and hoodoo. So they went from the right-hand side of righteousness to the left-hand side of wickedness. You know? The Benjamites are the so-called West Indians, which people better known as like Rastafarians, stuff of that nature. Okay? Jamaicans. You see? And then you get into the southern kingdom, from Simeon down to Issachar. And we each have our own attribute or spiritual characteristic that identifies who we are. Like Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, means he is hired. Now the so-called Mexicans, they always get a job, whether it's fixing your roof, stand outside Home Depot, picking fruit, whatever it is, they're hired. Judah, Yahweh, means the Most High praises. As the scripture tells in the prophecy, Judah is whom thy brethren shall praise. Meaning, well, for one, Christ is coming out of there. So we all rejoice and praise Yahweh Shai, Christ, the real Christ. On top of that, everyone wants to be like Mike. Whether it's Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, or Mike Tyson. Everybody wants to be like Mike. Now that's not to say the other tribes don't have their greats too. You had who is it? Zapata, Pancho Villa, Geronimo, all the great chiefs from the tribe of Gad, the North American Indians. And Gad means a troop. And they always moved around in troops or in tribes, you see? So everyone has their spiritual characteristic that is identifiable through prophecy. So like I said, whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or accept it, you are an Israelite of the Bible. Now the best thing to do is start following the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, if you even care about trying to inherit the kingdom. because we're all going to be in the kingdom of heaven. It's just at what degree would you want to be there? See, like Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, J-Lo, they all sold out already, meaning they got their prize now. That's why the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So when we get into the kingdom of heaven, we got nothing now. We know that. We're not here to win. We're here to serve a punishment and to lose. So when the kingdom comes, we're doing this work, and to the best of our abilities, the things that we can control, we follow the laws to the best of our ability. The dietary laws, for one, is one of the easiest things you can do. You save money on not buying pork, shrimp, shellfish, catfish, things of that nature, and then your body gets healthier. You stop breaking out, you stop getting, you won't develop diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, things of that nature, you see? Because these were set up to our benefit. These were set up to our benefit to make us better. It's not to keep us down and not indulge in the things. Pigs eat shit. They'll eat people. Oysters and crabs, they keep the waters clean in the ocean. So when that oil spill happened, they killed off a lot of what was keeping the waters clean. What was keeping the hot and cold water pressures, the cycles, the currents of the Atlantic and the Atlantic stream, they messed that up. On top of it, they're overfishing the lobster, the shrimp, all that stuff, which messes with the plankton. See, it's a whole cycle. And the scripture tells us to destroy them in Revelations, which destroy the earth. You want to get that real quick too? To prove the point? Now, we know when the North American Indians were here, they weren't destroying the earth. It's only the so-called white man that's done that. Revelations 11 and 18.
Revelations 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and the wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets.
Right, so the time's coming. The nations are mad. Everyone in the world is pissed off. At who? The so-called white man, at America, because they invade everywhere. They're the only people that can't stay put, which goes back to the prophecy of Cain and the prophecy of Esau, meaning he'll live by the sword. When a so-called white person gets kidnapped or abducted in another country, they go all out to get him. Dave Chappelle said black people are bad bargaining chips. They don't want to deal with a so-called black man as a hostage. They're like, he's only with 5/8 of a human being anyway. Why go out of your way? You see? So he's going to come back. He lives by the sword. He dies by the sword. That's the white man's curse.
So we gotta leave.
Hey, well, we're here every Saturday, and a lot of us, we live out in Tacoma too. So D-Brother's got a webpage for him. If you want, if you got questions, sometimes we got free days and stuff.
My bag under move my stuff, that little pocket.
The car. Hello? Actually, no, it's cool.
The YouTube page gets knocked down, so that one's not up.
Hold on, give me a pencil, I'll write it down.
So if you want, you can watch the videos and get more edification. And watch the other, there's camps all over the place. Which the truth is finally being put out there. Because if religion was the truth, or the female, we talk about, that's in the scriptures too. Race riots, race wars, lack of food, the RFID chip, the mark of the beast, the white man's the devil, everything gets covered through the scriptures. And we're not going to lead you astray. Our whole point is to remove the stumbling blocks. It's kind of like, so check out the videos, and if you got questions, come back or contact us, and we'll help you out.
Alright, Saturday at 3.
Yep. Okay, so real quick, can you give me Matthew 13, 16, and 17? Alright, so when you remove a stumbling block, you make it easier for people to get it, mainly Israel. Okay, so like cows, out in the country, they'll have them on a field and they're fenced in, and there's one way out for them to go, and usually what they'll do so the cow won't leave, they don't have to put up a gate, they'll put down this black strip. Now the cow will think that that's a ravine, because it's a dumb beast. It's a dumb beast. That's why Paul, in the scriptures, they compared us, Jakes, to a brute beast. Idiots. Because there's no faith. They don't have that faith to cross over it. They can get out if they wanted to, but they don't know the truth. So it's not going to set them free. They're basically like colorblind. You see? Grab Matthews 9 and 39 and 41. Okay? So even though it's safe for the cow to cross over that little black border, he's not going to do it. See? Because it was never in him.
9 and 30.
don't even know who he is. Maybe it's James. Check James. Amos. Go ahead, bring that up. Come on. Verse 13. I'm select chapter 13. I can't remember. I think it's James. I can't remember what it was. Amos, maybe Jeremiah.
Matthew 13 and 16. Blessed be but blessed are your eyes, for they see.
Go ahead again.
Matthew 13 and 16. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
Right. So we're not no brute beast. For someone to be able to get this truth means that the Spirit's working with them. You're not just some dumb cow that's not gonna follow the truth. When it tells you the truth shall make you free. You see, so those cows, man, they don't. A brute beast is not gonna leave, even though he can do it. He just that stumbling block is right before him. He can't get over the fact that there's a black abyss before him. You know what I'm talking about? Cows, what they'll do is they'll fence them in, and they won't use a gate. They'll just put a black metal strip down, and the cows won't cross it. You seen the video in Washington, right?
Yeah, my grandparents had a farm, and they just let the cows walk around on the road. They had little bars, and the cows never go over.
They never go over. See, little faith. That's why Paul called us the brute beast. Called, well, the 2/3 brute beast. You see? Go ahead, the next verse.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
Well, there's a lot of people who can understand the truth that we're Israelites. The white man's the devil. But then they'll get caught up on something like, oh, Cornelius was an Israelite. Oh, yeah, they'll be like, oh, well, either way, they'll be like, Cornelius ain't no Israelite, or Cornelius was a Japhite or an Edomite. They get stuck, they swallow the whole camel, but the gnat comes along and they choke up. That's what it's talking about. You see, you got that one in John? Get James 4.
John 9 and 39. And Yahushua said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be able or be made blind.
Right. So it got flipped. You see, because a lot of people, they knew the law, they knew that a prophet was coming, they couldn't accept Yahushua, so they got flipped.
Battery's over.
And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words, and said unto him, are we blind also?
Right, so the Pharisees, they got these other Israelite groups or people that may get it, but they strain at the gnat. Now, are we blind? We don't know what we're doing.